Australia, a land of sprawling wilderness, home to some of the most dangerous creatures on Earth. But what if the most terrifying of them all aren't the ones we can easily see? Beyond the known perils of saltwater crocodiles, venomous snakes, and deadly spiders lies a darker, more mysterious world. A world filled with creatures that blur the lines between myth and reality. These cryptids are not confined to legends, they are lurking in the shadows, just waiting for their moment to reveal themselves. Throughout the centuries, stories of these cryptids have passed down through Indigenous Australian folklore, with some modern-day sightings sparking debates among cryptozoologists and the curious alike. Could these legendary beasts still roam the untamed wilds of Australia, or are they simply figments of an overactive imagination? Today we're diving deep into 9 of Australia's most fearsome cryptids. From swamp-dwelling beasts to colossal predator-like creatures roaming the outback, these are more than just stories. Are you brave enough to confront them? Cryptid number 1. The Bunyip. In the dark, still waters of Australia's swamps and billabongs, the legend of the Bunyip has haunted Aboriginal culture for centuries. In fact, the term Bunyip itself comes from the Wemba Wemba and Wigaya languages of Indigenous Australians. Its name is whispered with fear, for the Bunyip is no ordinary creature. It is an ancient predator that embodies both mystery and terror. Aboriginal stories about the Bunyip vary. Some describe it as a monster with a seal-like face, large flippers and dark fur, while others believe it to be a massive, serpentine creature with immense strength. Its shape-shifting ability only adds to the enigma surrounding it. But what remains consistent is that the Bunyip is seen as a warning, a sign of danger for those who dare to venture too close to its dark and murky habitat. The 19th century saw a surge in reports of the Bunyip from European settlers, who initially dismissed it as a native myth. That is, until they started experiencing strange happenings for themselves. Livestock disappearing, eerie growls echoing across the night air, and deep, unexplained disturbances in the water, these all led to growing belief that the Bunyip might be more than a mere legend. One of the most famous testimonies comes from the 1840s, when an unidentified bone, supposedly belonging to a Bunyip, was found in a river near Geelong, Victoria. The discovery caused quite the stir, even prompting media outlets to speculate whether this was proof that the Bunyip was real. Theories about the Bunyip's identity have ranged from a surviving prehistoric creature like the Diprotodon to an undiscovered species of amphibian. Despite a lack of definitive evidence, the legend persists. Indigenous communities still speak of the Bunyip as a guardian of the waters, a creature not to be disturbed. Could this cryptid be a holdover from a forgotten era, still haunting the waterways of Australia? What do you think? Could the Bunyip be lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for its next victim? Cryptid number 2. The Yowie. Next, we venture into the dense forests of eastern Australia, where towering trees and thick undergrowth create an impenetrable wilderness. Here, far from civilization, the Yowie is said to roam, a giant ape-like creature with the strength of 10 men and a terrifying roar that can freeze you in your tracks. Descriptions of the Yowie vary, but it is often portrayed as a towering figure, sometimes as tall as 12 feet, with long arms, broad shoulders, and covered in thick, matted hair. The Yowie, also known as Yahoo in Indigenous folklore, has been part of Aboriginal legend for generations. The Gundungurra people of the Blue Mountains tell stories of a large hairy being that stalks the forests and attacks those who dare to trespass on its territory. Some tribes saw the Yowie as a protector, while others feared it as a violent, unpredictable predator. In modern times, stories of the Yowie have only grown. One of the most well-known sightings occurred in the late 19th century when a surveyor named H.J. McCooey claimed to have seen a Yowie near Bateman's Bay, New South Wales. McCooey described it as a creature of human height, but covered in black fur. His encounter sparked widespread intrigue, with other sightings reported in the years that followed. Footprints, howls, and eerie feelings of being watched are frequently reported in regions where the Yowie is said to live. Some cryptozoologists speculate that the Yowie could be a descendant of the Gigantopithecus, a giant ape that once roamed Asia. Others believe it could be a new, undiscovered species of hominid, perfectly suited to survive in the dense, remote forests of Australia. Could it be that the Yowie is more than just a tall tale? The sheer number of sightings, combined with ancient Indigenous lore, makes the Yowie one of the most fascinating cryptids in Australia. Have you ever been deep in the Australian bush, wondering if something is watching from the shadows? Could it be the Yowie? Cryptid number 3. The Queensland Tiger. In the tropical rainforests of northern Queensland, another cryptid stalks its prey under the cover of night. This creature, known as the Queensland Tiger, is said to be a large, predatory feline with the power and stealth to bring down prey many times its size. Its most distinctive feature? The dark stripes that run along its muscular body, giving it a tiger-like appearance. For over a century, farmers and settlers in the region have reported strange and unexplained livestock deaths. Animals would be found with deep claw marks and bite wounds, their bodies shredded by something far too powerful for any known predator in the area. Witnesses described seeing a large, cat-like creature moving swiftly through the shadows, its striped body blending into the dense foliage before disappearing without a trace. One theory suggests that the Queensland Tiger could be a surviving member of the Thylacoleo, Australia's extinct marsupial lion. Thylacoleo was a powerful predator, roamed Australia during the Pleistocene epoch, with a bite strong enough to crush bones. Could a descendant of this prehistoric beast have adapted to modern times? Sightings of the Queensland tiger have occurred as recently as the late 20th century. A prominent account comes from 1954, when farmer Joe Mullet claimed to have shot at a large tiger-like creature near Tully, Queensland, after it had killed several of his cattle. Mullet described it as a huge cat with stripes, the likes of which I've never seen. Could these sightings be evidence of a surviving predator from Australia's distant past? Or is the Queensland tiger a natural phenomenon that we have yet to understand? Would you dare wander into the rainforests of Queensland, knowing that a cryptid capable of such stealth and power could be stalking its next meal? Cryptid 4. The Hawkesbury River Monster. Moving away from the forests and into Australia's vast river systems, we encounter the Hawkesbury River Monster. For generations, locals along the Hawkesbury River have told stories of a massive, serpent-like creature lurking beneath the surface of the water. Descriptions of the monster is often said to be as long as a bus, with a body covered in dark, scaly skin and a head the size of a car. Local Aboriginal legends also tell of a giant water serpent, sometimes referred to as the Muliwonk, which was said to inhabit the rivers of southeastern Australia. These tales go back centuries, with Indigenous people warning travellers and fishers to avoid certain stretches of the river, lest they disturb the great beast that lived below. One of the most famous modern-day sightings occurred in 1980, when a fisherman claimed to have seen a massive, dark shape gliding just beneath the surface of the Hawkesbury River. The creature reportedly rocked their boat and ripped through their fishing nets, leaving them shaken and unsure of what they had just encountered. Some cryptozoologists believe the Hawkesbury River monster could be a surviving species of Plesiosaurus, a marine reptile from the time of the dinosaurs. Others think it might be a particularly large species of eel or fish, yet to be officially documented. Even skeptics can't ignore the frequency of the sightings. Are these simply misidentified sea creatures, or is there something far more dangerous lurking beneath the waters of the Hawkesbury River? Next time you're near the river, take a moment to look down into the depths. What could be hiding just below the surface, watching and waiting? Cryptid number 5. The Gippsland Phantom Cat. The Gippsland Phantom Cat, a cryptid that has been terrorising the farmlands of southern Australia for decades. Unlike the Queensland tiger, which is said to inhabit the rainforests of the north, the phantom cat is described as a massive, predatory feline roaming the vast farmlands and plains of Gippsland. It is said to be sleek, muscular, and larger than any domestic cat, with the strength and agility to take down livestock and vanish into the night without a trace. Throughout the years, numerous witnesses have reported seeing a large, black cat-like creature moving stealthily through the dense Gippsland bushland. These sightings are often accompanied by strange vocalizations, deep growls, and yowls, unlike any native wildlife. Despite countless searches, no physical evidence has ever been conclusively found, adding to the mystery and keeping the legend of the Gippsland Phantom Cat alive. Some theories suggest the Gippsland Phantom Cat could be a descendant of escaped exotic animals, possibly brought to Australia during colonial times. Others believe it to be another remnant of the prehistoric Thylacoleo, or even a feral cat that has grown to an extraordinary size over time. In 1990, a group of hunters claimed to have shot at a large, panther-like creature near Wilson's Promontory in Victoria. Despite their efforts, the animal disappeared into the dense bushland, leaving behind only large paw prints and an air of mystery. Could the phantom cat be a part of Australia's lost history, or is it simply a wild animal that has adapted to life in the Gippsland wilderness? If you were alone on the vast, open plains at night, would you be able to shake the feeling that something large and predatory was watching you from the darkness? Cryptid number 6. The Tantanoola Tiger. In South Australia, A cryptid with a somewhat more grounded but equally mysterious reputation prowls the forests near the town of Tantanoola. Known as the Tantanoola Tiger, this cryptid is described as a large, tiger-like predator. Much like the Queensland Tiger, the Tantanoola Tiger is said to have stripes and the ability to take down livestock with ease. In the early 1880s, a small circus travelling between Millicent and Mount Gambier, South Australia, faced an unexpected crisis. One morning, after camping overnight, they discovered their prized Tantanoola tiger had vanished into the thick surrounding scrub. Despite hours of searching, the tiger was nowhere to be found, forcing the circus to continue to Mount Gambier, where they reported the escape to local authorities. Police and volunteers scoured the area, but the elusive tiger remained out of sight. Despite multiple reported sightings and investigations, no definitive proof has ever surfaced, though some speculate that the animal responsible could have been an unusually large feral cat, or even a thylacine, believed to be extinct. The mystery of the Tantanoola tiger continues to captivate the region, with many residents still convinced that something strange roams the wilderness at night. Cryptid number 7. The Burrunjor. Deep in the Northern Territory, tales of a terrifying, dinosaur-like cryptid have surfaced over the years. Known as the Burrunjor, this creature is said to resemble a theropod dinosaur, similar to the T-Rex but much smaller, standing around 20 feet tall. Aboriginal legends have long spoken of a massive, bipedal predator that stalks the outback, hunting anything that crosses its path. Its existence has been the source of fear and fascination for centuries. In 1978, a man named Brian Clark ventured into the woods and became lost. A search party, including local policemen and 2 Aboriginal bushmen, was sent to track him down. One night during the search, the trackers were startled awake by a deafening roar and the ground trembling beneath them. They eventually located Clark. Some speculate that the noise was caused by the Burrunjor, a legendary predator, though skeptics argue that such a light-footed creature wouldn't crash through the forest in such a dramatic way, contrary to Hollywood depictions. Cryptid number 8. The Megalania. Australia was once home to one of the largest land-dwelling reptiles to ever exist, the Megalania. This enormous, carnivorous lizard is believed to have gone extinct thousands of years ago, but sightings in the remote outback suggest otherwise. The Megalania was a monitor lizard that could grow up to 20 feet long, making it a fearsome predator capable of taking down large prey with its venomous bite. In the late 1970s, there were still reports of Megalania sightings. One notable incident occurred in July 1979 when Rex Gilroy was alerted to the discovery of large footprints in a freshly ploughed field. Spanning the field were around 30 tracks that appeared to belong to an enormous lizard. Although rain had damaged most of the impressions, Gilroy managed to make a plaster cast of one well-preserved print. The footprint bore a striking resemblance to what could have been left by a Megalania. Whether it's a relic from the past or a misunderstood predator, the legend of the Megalania continues to terrify those who believe in its survival. Cryptid number 9. The Lithgow Panther. Similar to the Gippsland Phantom Cat, the Lithgow Panther is another mysterious feline said to prowl the Blue Mountains of New South Wales. Described as a large, black panther-like creature, the Lithgow Panther has been the subject of numerous sightings, particularly in the Lithgow and Hawkesbury regions. Many believe it to be an escaped exotic animal or the descendant of big cats brought to Australia during World War II by American soldiers. In recent years, sightings of the Blue Mountains panthers have surged, especially near the towns of Lithgow and Groves Vale. Numerous witnesses have reported encounters with large, dark-coloured feline creatures, significantly bigger than any known feral cats. In one alarming incident in Kenthurst, New South Wales, a young boy was severely scratched by a sizable cat just outside his home. In some cases, large paw prints have been found near the site of the attacks, though attempts to track the creature have always come up short. Despite numerous investigations and reported sightings, the true nature of the Lithgow Panther remains a mystery. Is it a real animal, a misidentified feral cat, or something else entirely? The truth is still elusive, and until definitive proof is found, the Lithgow Panther will continue to stalk the imaginations of those who venture into its territory. Australia is known for its deadly wildlife, but the cryptids that haunt its wild spaces are far more than that. The Bunyip, Yowie, Queensland Tiger, Hawkesbury River Monster, and Gippsland Phantom Cat challenge our understanding of the natural world. These creatures embody both our deepest fears and the mysteries of the unknown. For those who have encountered them, the question of whether these cryptids are real is no longer a question at all, it is a terrifying reality. So, what do you think? Are these cryptids real? Are they relics from a forgotten time, or the product of imagination running wild in a land as untamed as Australia itself? Let us know in the comments. If you're eager to uncover more dark legends and cryptic creatures, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Who knows what lies hidden in the shadows, waiting to be discovered next?